Welcome back to Fella's Haven. Today we're going to be working on a bias cut skirt, and I'm going to be using this burnt orange material to make the skirt. These are the measurements that I'm going to be using for cutting out my skirt. My waist, which is 28, my hip, which is 38 inches, and the length 26 inches. To cut your material, you want to take one corner of the fabric and match it with another corner like I'm going to show you. And you're going to fold it again so that you can have 4 layers of fabric. After folding it for the second time, make sure that you pin so that your fabric does not shift, because I'm working with satin and satin shifts a lot. So just pin it in place so that it's not shifting too much. And I'm going to show you the 4 layers of fabric that I have. This is one on fold. This is now third one. For my waist, I'm going to take my waist, which is 28 inches, and divide it by 4, which gives me 7. So I'm going to fold my fabric and measure that 7 inches, which is somewhere here. And if I measure it from the top like this, it's about 18 inches from the top. So for me to get that semi-like circle waist, I'm going to measure it from the top, measuring 18 inches all the way. Make sure you hold the top part of your tape measure when you're measuring. And just join that. Measurement, you're going to do the same, which is you're going to divide your hip measurement by 4. Mine is 38, so I divided by 4 and I got 9.5. I'm going to measure that 9.5. which is somewhere here. Connect your waistline to your hip, and then you can now work with the length of the skirt. Mark the length of your skirt like I did. Connect the hip and the total length of your skirt, and that is the outline of the skirt. I don't know if you can clearly see it, but that's the whole idea of how I'm going to cut my skirt. Now I'm just going to cut out where I have marked, and we go ahead to start sewing. After cutting, your skirt will look something like this. Now we're going ahead to start sewing. I'm going to be using French seams for my skirt. So we'll start from the right side and then go to the wrong side. So after sewing it both sides with a straight stitch, now we're going to trim it to 0.5 millimeters so that we can be able to sew it from the side. Seams, you want to turn it to the wrong side and now make a seam of 0.5 to 1 centimeter. It all depends with the seam allowance that you have left. So after sewing your seam, it should look like this from inside and like this from outside, and just give it a good press and you're good to go. And then we go ahead to work on the waistline. So for my waistline, I'm going to use this elastic. That is what I'm going to use to knit in the waistline. So firstly, I'm going to press down maybe 0.5 centimeters and then sew my elastic like this, so that I'll also fold it in like this. So at the end of the day, it will look something like this. For the elastic, you want to measure your waist, the one that fits perfectly on your waist, and then take both ends of the elastic, overlap them like this, and make a zigzag stitch to secure the elastic. After joining your elastic, you want to mark the center point of your elastic like this, and you also want to mark the quarter point. You're also going to mark those same points for your skirt. Well, the other one is already marked because of the seams, but now you want to mark the midpoint of your waistline. Now you're going to put your elastic onto your waistband, and the points that you have marked, this is where I had done the zigzag stitch. This is the center point. I'm going to attach it to the other side seam, and then you just pin it in place. The reason we were marking is so that the elastic is evenly distributed. After pinning this in place, you also have this mark. It's going to match this point that I marked here. And this mark is going to match this part here. And then you pin everything in place. When you stretch your elastic, it will be evenly distributed to the skirt. After attaching the elastic, it looks something like this on the waist. So for you not to have your skirt turning up the elastic like this, you can fold it and just sew in the ditch, and also do the same for the other side, and sew in the ditch. After sewing it in the ditch, you want to press it down, and this is how it's going to look. So you won't have the elastic showing, at the same time you won't have a seam showing from your waistline. So that is it for the waistline. Now we move to the hemming of the skirt. Since we have curves at the bottom of our skirt, I'm going to be using this method. I saw it somewhere on TikTok or YouTube, I'm not sure, but I've forgotten the name of the content creator who used this method. So you're going to stitch your material on top of this paper like so. This is how it's going to look. You're going to trim this to this excess part that you've sewn, and then fold. So after trimming it like this, you're going to fold it and So now you're just directly top stitching from here, and that's it. When you're done, you tear off the paper. So after top stitching, it's going to be something like this, and then this is how the right side will look. So now what we're going to do is just to tear this off. Don't worry about this. When you wash it, it will just come off. So you're going to tear it off all the way. Just be gentle and careful so that you don't rip your stitches that you already saw.
Liked it? I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Until next time, take care of yourself and take care of each other. Happy sewing!